Hello my loves, and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be talking about destiny swapping and the real truth about it, and how some people can spiritually hijack your path. So there's many different levels to destiny swapping, and a lot of people don't realize that there is quite a severe thing that can happen as soon as you usually have a spiritual awakening. So people who are more empathic, light workers, oracles, whatever you want to call it, or someone who's just had a huge awakening, done like a lot of shadow work, like really like changed their frequency. So you may have changed your diet, got into loads of meditation, yoga, whatever the case, but you've drastically shifted your vibration. This unfortunately can create you to be quite a magnet to people of a darker consciousness, such as narcissists and energy vampires, who want to take that for themselves. So in this video, we're going to be getting more deeper into spiritual destiny swapping, which is far more kind of sinister and serious compared to most kind of more normal destiny swapping. So a kind of normal one will be more overt, more platonic, in the way that it might just be someone who copies you a lot, who tries to steal your style, a bit of your personality, energy, that sort of thing, but they don't cause like severe entanglement. So with spiritual destiny swapping, this will be way more severe, because it happens after, so post spiritual awakening, when really your soul is now aligned to your mission, when really this is the time where you finally removed your ego that may have been blocking or sabotaging certain things within your life. And now you're fully aligned, you're on a much higher, more clearer vibration. So your frequency is way more potent, way more stronger, which will basically help you manifest and create a much higher vibrational timeline. So this is to do with timeline shifting and timeline hijacking. So it can be a bit confusing to wrap your head around, but this is what I'm going to be explaining the best I can. So usually, this is when a narcissist, especially a covert one, or anyone who, even fake gurus, fake friends, but more high level ones, will suddenly appear in your life, sometimes more than one. So this is really because after you have an awakening, your energy gets so powerful that they then try to take it and sabotage your path. So it's really them putting a block to your growth and to you fulfilling your soul purpose. Because unfortunately, we do live in spiritual warfare. There is 1,000,000% light vibrational energies versus dark vibrational energies. And it's not always just your shadow and you learning a lesson. Sometimes it literally just is spiritual oppression. Okay, so it's not always spiritual growth that you go through with these types of things. Sometimes it literally is just oppression and sabotage, because these beings are void of light. These beings are disconnected from source energy. So if you look at it like batteries, when you have a spiritual awakening and you're eating better, you're working out, you're basically at a much higher vibration. You're now like a full battery, which can also help other people become full batteries, but in the way that they can't be fed off. So it kind of like is a tripwire that goes off an alert. So it's like, because these lower vibrational beings feed off fear, misery, pain, and ego and lust. So basically lower vibrational things and energetic frequencies. So when you're on that vibrational timeline, that positive timeline that really will be leading you to breaking generational curses, breaking, so many things that would have held your soul and your ancestors' souls, back in a very low state of fear, pain, and misery. They don't want you to do that because, and this is goes way deeper, which I do get on my Patreon. So if you want to learn why this is the case, and please go check that out. But I won't be getting into that in this video. So basically, that's what you need to know. That's important, that certain beings don't like it when you do that. So, but also with narcissists is they are disconnected from source energy, because you must have an open heart chakra to be connected to really high vibrational frequencies. And this doesn't mean about being toxically positive either, okay? That's not having an open heart chakra at all. This is like true love, true empathy, and compassion for yourself and other beings. So also just wisdom as well. But whenever you're on this path, this is the type of thing that they'll try to stop. And even though this is quite a taboo thing to say, but anyone who's endured genuine narcissistic abuse, you will know, or who is an empath or clairvoyant, you'll see that a lot of people are not necessarily human in the way that their energy is. There's so many beings who are so far gone into their own shadow, into their own ego and darkness. They basically get hijacked by really low vibrational beings, really low vibrational energies, which are parasitic. So these parasitic energies can't really create their own things, their own lives. So they try to steal yours, because it's not just someone who wants to copy you. It goes really far deeper in the way that they try to sabotage you. Because when you truly awaken your true, powerful, sovereign self, that makes you a threat. That makes you now someone who is capable of disrupting the system. That makes someone who is now disruptive to all this kind of demonic control that we see within planet Earth. You will be a massive threat to what has been basically feeding fear, pain, misery, lust, everything that keeps people trapped in the cage, disconnected from love, disconnected from true source connection as well. So this is why narcissists and energy vampires will derail your ascension. They will do this sometimes consciously or unconsciously. Most of it is unconscious, because they're so enmeshed with this kind of almost like demonic hive minds that we see on planet Earth. And this is what I mean by spiritual warfare, because that's what it truly is. It's not what religion teaches. It's a way more complicated and deeper than that. So part 2 is, how do people destiny swap with you spiritually? So this is very similar to narcissistic abuse. So go check out my other much longer videos on that. But usually trauma bonding is the ultimate #1 way that someone can destiny swap with you, because this is the biggest, most powerful form of distraction and drainage. This is the most potent way someone can siphon all of your energy, because you need to have a lot of your energy ascend for you to be on a high timeline, for you to be on the positive timeline, to basically fulfill your destiny, to fulfill your true life purpose, to break, generational curses, and to heal your own shadow and traumas as well. So when you have a vampire, energy vampire or narcissist come into your life, they will completely disrupt your whole entire being, because at first, of course, they love bomb you. So they mirror you, they trick you into thinking that they're your twin flame, that they're your soulmate, that they're, some angelic being that's just manifested. This is what I mean why spiritual destiny swapping is way, way, way more dangerous and worse, because it goes so much deeper than just a platonic normal relationship. And this can also be with gurus and friends as well within the spiritual world. So it's not just romantic people. It can also be like a guru or friend, that kind of enters your life and love bombs you too. So it's the same thing. But basically these beings will trick you into thinking that you're, romantically their twin flame, or they're like this ascended beautiful guru that's going to help you reach enlightenment, or they're this powerful medium, or really, soulmate within a friend that is going to obviously love you, care for you, and you're like destined to, be friends. But that's never the case. So they mirror you to trick you. It's all a trickster spirit energy. And this is how they basically gain trust. So the more you trust them, the more you're going to open up to them, the more you're going to share with them, the more energy you're going to give to them. So destiny swapping is energy harvesting, because when someone harvests your energy, that is now shifting you to a negative timeline, because you need a certain dormant amount of energy. It doesn't mean you're always positive, but you need a certain amount of energy where you're not completely drained with your nervous system dysregulated, to obviously be on a certain timeline. So whenever you have someone come into your life and do this, so after the love bombing, they'll completely switch on you. And this is where they start to turn nasty and cold, and then you get confused. But they'll do the hot cold treatment, like I've explained in other videos, this is what creates the trauma bonds, where they, you know, show you love and then they pull away, they ignore you, you know, stonewall you, then show you love, then pull away. And it's like this constant dopamine stress. This is what they do. So with destiny swapping, when you're going through this, all of that energy is massively getting drained and going to them. So this is when you'll start to notice that they'll start to get more strong, more powerful. This can be physically, they'll start to glow up. Their business might do better. And this can be really subtle, by the way. It's not always huge. But whatever case, you'll notice that they start to be doing better somehow whilst you're like suffering and going down. So they may have even come to you in quite chaotic circumstances where your life may have been pretty good, pretty peaceful. That's usually the case. But then it's like literally a swap, destiny swap. So it's like you're now the one that becomes unstable, dysregulated, full of bad luck. You may have issues that they would have previously had, you know, in regards to health or money or drama, bad, you know, anything like that. It could be really, really like vast. But ultimately, you'll notice the same pattern is they'll start to be going like this whilst you're going down. So usually you'll physically see it too. So basically, the more you pour into them, the more you start to get drained, yet the more they start to grow. So it's kind of like your energy is never reciprocated. So this is what obviously narcissists are notorious for, because they'll have no empathy. It will be fake. So, but usually it's like they'll just be harvesting your energy for their own success, to attract money, fame, wealth, you know, whatever it is, just clout in general, attention. So it's literally like identity theft. It's energy theft. So, but the good news is it doesn't last forever. So this energy exchange is never permanent, because like with everything, energy does start to run out. So, which I'll get into later. So this is why you need to cut that cord so they don't keep feeding off your energy. So you're not basically letting them manifest through your energy. So part 3 is, why did it happen as soon as you had a very big spiritual awakening? So what people don't understand is your awakening makes you extremely magnetic, and not just to light beings, but also to dark forces. So people need to understand that you don't just get seen by benevolent, loving, high vibrational beings like your spirit guides and so forth. You also get seen in the lower realms. You also get seen and noticed by dark entities even more so. So like I was saying before, it's because you become a threat. You become a threat to the system. You can now break generational curses. You can now help other people get empowered and heal and awakened. So they'll do anything in their power to keep people low, to keep people trapped in trauma loops. So this is why narcissists as well, they'll always use your weaknesses against you to keep you trapped and stagnant in that loop of trauma. This is why doing your own shadow work is so important. So people can't use any particular shadows as your kryptonite, as a weapon against you. Because if they do, and if they know how, they will always have power over you. This is how you beat them. But to keep it more simple is to basically keep you trapped in that loop, like I was saying, so they can keep feeding off you. Sometimes they can literally activate your unhealed wounds and certain shadow aspects to basically pull you back into old toxic loops, even ones that you may have healed. They'll open those wounds up again, and through the abuse, of course. So they'll kind of like pull you back down so you can get trapped in that karmic loop all over again. So it's kind of like, this is why people will meet the same demon in different bodies. It's because they know who you are and they know what triggers you. They know how to get you, like I've said in other videos. This is why you have to know thyself so you can truly heal yourself. So when you do start to see these patterns within people, you don't get led astray and pulled back into old karmic loops ever again. So, and this is of course much easier said than done, but so many spiritual people who are definitely, you know, on a high level, wise, intelligent, unfortunately fall into this trap because they have very open, empathic hearts to begin with. And this is why you must always have a very discerning energy and not let the new age, toxic, positive people mislead you into always being open and loving and non-judgmental to every single person, because that is what will get you abused. That energy will 100% get you basically siphoned off, okay? You can have a loving heart, you can be empathic, but you must always have very firm boundaries and know when to say no and to walk away and never people please. Discernment is not the same as judgment. You have to be extremely cautious and discerning of every single type of energy that enters your life. Doesn't mean you live in paranoia, but you must always be cautious where you're giving your energy. Spiritual hygiene is vital to protect your energy. If you don't have spiritual hygiene, it will be very likely that you will unfortunately get tricked by a trickster spirit, by an energy vampire who will siphon you, who will use you, who will destiny swap with you. Healing from this is no joke either. It's extremely difficult, but not impossible. So once you get through this, you can pretty much get through anything, in all honesty. So part 4 is signs that it's happened to you. So the number one biggest sign is before you met this person, you were thriving, you were confident, you were quite content, you were quite happy. You weren't going through a breakup, you weren't going through any sort of drama, you weren't going through some kind of turbulent thing. It's like you were quite content. You're even maybe content being single. You're just kind of on your path, meditating, trying to manifest. You're doing what you could. You've already healed a lot. You've probably changed your diet, stopped smoking, stopped drinking. You've done something to really highly activate your frequency that's changed your energetic auric field, your energetic vibration. So this would have been the energy you would have had. So you probably would have been like the best health and happiness before this person came into your life. But as soon as they came into your life, that's when shit started to really hit the fan. So it's kind of like you got dragged back down into like a really toxic, heavy, negative timeline. You literally got pulled like back into hell when it wasn't really your own doing. So it's kind of like you're pulled into this energy of now feeling anxious, depressed, you're doubting yourself, you feel very lost, foggy, confused, very sad as well. So a really good example I suppose I can use of this is kind of like when people break horses in. So it's like they were once this free, healthy, vibrant, wild, you know, horse. And then they get captured and broken. It's like their spirits get broken until they're just kind of like a shell of themselves. So this is very similar to what destiny swapping is. Obviously, another sign is the person started to obviously start glowing whilst you're starting to get drained. So again, the biggest sign is your health started to go to shit. So physical ailments started to appear. You know, masses of weight gain or weight loss, acne, hair loss, chronic health issues, deficiencies, gut issues, of course, panic attacks, anxiety, mental health issues. It's kind of like you're just starting to shut down, you're starting to break. And this is because your nervous system got completely dysregulated. And not many people realize is your nervous system must be pretty much aligned for you to manifest efficiently. It is so important. So these vampiric people and narcissists will completely dysregulate your nervous system, and then that is what blocks your destiny, because it is pretty much impossible to achieve your goals, to be in a healthy body, to feel mentally sane, to feel mentally happy, content, just to have that fire within you as well, to be connected to your spirit, your mind, your body, when your nervous system is out of whack. So it will make it harder and harder for you to manifest, no matter how hard you try, because it's like you literally can't from that state of stress that you're in. So this is the key for you to truly activate your divine power, you must be regulated. And this is how they keep you trapped in a dark timeline, in a timeline of you not being in your full power, in a timeline of you being miserable, sick, depressed, not activating your true potential. Another sign that's more spiritual is your creativity completely disappears. So again, it's like you probably would have helped them if that was the sort of thing that they were into or whatever. You would have supported them, given them maybe even creative ideas or knowledge or wisdom or whatever the case, or just physical support. But your gifts, your creative energy or whatever the case, your work, your career started to suffer. So it's like your creative spark, even your passion, hobbies, anything like that, just completely dissipated and went away, whilst they maybe started to improve within theirs. So it's like everything that you may have worked for, you lost. Your spirit just got completely disconnected to your sense of self. So your creative portal got shut down. Because again, when your nervous system is dysregulated, you are now in a state of fight or flight, or worse, you're in a state of shutdown. That's when you just freeze and your body is literally playing dead because it's been so traumatized and it is so exhausted. It literally plays dead. And this is when you cannot activate any of your creative energy because your body is such in an extreme state. So this is why you lose all interest, even desires, you lose everything that you once cared about. So even if you had goals or dreams or things that you got excited over or that you wanted to try or do or go to, you don't care anymore. It's literally like you've become numb or just completely so depressed and anxious. You can't bear to even try to do those things. So it's like either survival is now your number one priority, or you completely disconnected. It's like you're literally dead and numb. Another sign is, of course, that you'll be trauma bonded to them. So this will be the worst thing, because obviously you will now be, especially after them being discarding you or within relationship, you'll be very attached. You may have been very independent or not even wanted to get into a relationship with them in the first place, or be very competent without them if they were just a friend or a guru or whatever. So it's like you're pretty like stable, independent, normal before. But then as soon as they came into your life, you got very reliant on them, codependent on them, anxious without them. So it's like they created this extreme trauma bond with them. So it's like you became extremely frail and empty, like a void without them. It's like your whole life got hijacked into you just giving them energy. So another sign is you'll probably notice as soon as you start to heal. So usually this happens after the discard or whatever. Once you start to heal again, because remember, you are connected to source, you are connected to the light, you can recharge. It can take a long time if you've been harvested, a lot. But once you start to heal and recharge, that's when they'll come back in. And this is why so many people get confused on the spiritual path, because they mistake this with, the twin flame runner chaser dynamic. No, it's way more sinister in most cases with that. So, twin flames don't feed off one another, okay? A twin flame dynamic is not a narcissist dynamic. Most twin flame dynamics are between an empath and a narcissist, but most people don't want to even think that that is the case or admit it. So because you're trauma bonded, you're so desperate for that person to show you the love and care. But this is the biggest trick that they do. This is the biggest hijack within the spiritual community to keep empathic, powerful healers, people who actually can shift energy within the world and help others on a low vibration, because your whole life becomes distracted by that person. Your whole yearning and desire becomes towards them, not yourself or the planet or serving people in a holistic, healthy, loving way. So even just you fulfilling your true destiny by being happy and actually loved by someone who is your genuine counterpart. So they'll block that too. Another more spiritual sign is you'll experience far more psychic attack whilst you're getting destiny swapped, because like I've said in other videos, your energy is going down, so this weakens your auric fields, this weakens your protection. So the shield of, you know, that would have protected you before becomes open and fragmented, because with a destiny swapper, they are taking a fragment of you. They're literally thieving a fragment of your energy for themselves. So this can kind of create like a hole within your aura. It weakens you because you're no longer whole. So this unfortunately will then open you up to more demonic attack, spiritual psychic attacks. So you'll probably notice like sleep paralysis, even seeing things, nightmares, night terrors, feeling like you're cursed, haunted, so feeling watched. Every single healer, especially women, you need a man that's going to support, love and protect you, not fucking drive you mad, not siphon your energy, not drain you. Okay, there's a huge difference between that, and that is a really, really important thing to acknowledge, because if you don't, you'll never fulfill your true potential. It is really that brutal. Too many people pander to everyone in the spiritual community, but I'm the one that's telling you the hard truth. I've been through it myself, and it's not all sunshine and rainbows. It's not all love and light. The spiritual world is extremely dangerous, chaotic, and extremely beautiful and loving. It's both. But you have to have the wisdom, intelligence, and discernment to get through it. But it's important to note, when people destiny swap with you, when people harvest your energy, because it's going inside them, it almost kind of like gets alchemized to something dark. So it's like reverse alchemy. So it's kind of like with an empath, you try to do the opposite. When you meet dark people, you try to fix them, help them, love them, you show them empathy. It's the opposite. It's the inversion with someone who's narcissistic, lacks empathy, lacks love, and that sort of thing. So this is what I mean, that even though they're stealing your energy and a fragment of you, cause an entanglement with them, they'll still, it won't last very long for them. So it's like they may get ahead initially, but long term, sometimes this can take months, years, sometimes it's instant. They will get bad karma. I've seen this myself. I've seen this with other clients, stories and testimonies that they've told me. It's, because you are protected, even though spiritual people and empaths go through literal hell a lot of the time, especially when you're a spiritual healer, you are more targeted to spiritual attack. You are definitely still protected. So these beings won't get away with it completely, because it is thefts, there is karmic backlash, and you'll usually notice this when you remove access to your energy, when you start to call your power back. So getting onto that, part 5 is how to get back into alignment, how to reclaim your path. So how to get your destiny back. So usually this will require, first off, complete no contact. So you must cut complete access to your energy. So this person must not be able to harvest or siphon your energy anymore. That is the number one step, because until then, they will keep you drained. Anyone who is stressing you out and that is trauma bonded to you will completely keep you drained in that low vibrational timeline. So especially when emotional romantic feelings are involved, it's even worse. So this is why it's so important to cut cords, energy wise, spiritually, but mentally and physically. So physically is obviously going no contact. Spiritually, I highly recommend doing a cord cutting ritual. Because again, if you imagine that web within a spider, it's like that's you within it. And you have to cut all those cords that are like trapping you and connecting you to them. Because that etheric cord is what they use to siphon your energy still. And if that cord is active, meaning that you still open that door, allow them to come in, you still have access, allow them access to you, that keeps the cord alive. So if you're yearning for them, talking to them, watching their social media, stalking them, anything like that, you must stop. They must be dead to you pretty much. If you have to see them because children are involved, then you just have to be completely stoic whenever you're interacting with them and see them as little as possible. But energy wise, you must not let them trigger you. You have to completely detach your energy mentally, physically, and spiritually. So with cord cutting, I do have a service where I can do a cord cutting on your behalf if you don't feel comfortable doing that yourself. It's a very effective spell that will give you that initial release. But if you're more confident, I do have my Dark Feminine Activation Guide that teaches especially empathic people how to reclaim your power, how to cut cords, and also how to cleanse dark energy from your womb space. So this is basically your sacral chakra. So the next step that you need to do to access your timeline back, to basically call your energy back to you, is to cleanse your womb space, to activate your sacral energy. This is where your creative energy lies. This is where your power lies, especially for women, because this is the space where life is created, literally. Like when you're pregnant, that is the area that it's in. Your womb, your sacral, it is the portal of life. So this is why when you're intimate sexually with someone, this is why romantic destiny swappers are worse, because whenever you're sexually intimate with someone, they're siphoning and harvesting your energy way more than just a friend or whatever the case. So like I said in my Dark Feminine Activation Guide, which is basically teaching you how to access genuine dark feminine energy that will help empower you, not teach you how to manipulate and keep you as a pick-me energy. This will really truly set you free to access that sovereign, powerful energy within yourself. So you don't get fed off. So you cut the cords from spider energy vampiric people. You get back on your soul mission. You get back on your path, which is what you're meant to be doing. You get back on the path that your soul literally incarnated here to do. Okay, so it's a powerful guide with powerful rituals, including a cord cutting video demo, the womb ritual, and also a dark goddess activation initiation ritual. So, but there's a lot of information in there that will really help guide you into accessing this energy and activating it, because this will help prevent it happen to you again. Another thing you need to know that is giving you closure is know that their life will crumble without you. So if anything like motivates you to cut cords, stop watching them, like literally pretend as if they're dead. Like you need to grieve who they were, because in reality they didn't exist anyway. This is why these things are so painful, because you fell in love with someone who didn't exist, who is literally just siphoning your energy to steal, to, you know, benefit themselves. So you need to basically grieve the loss of the fake love bombing version that lover, friend, whoever, you know, gave to you, and know that their life will crumble. They will get their karma in time, even if it doesn't seem like that, when you remove access to your energy. But you have to do that first. This is why sometimes people don't see people getting their karma, because you haven't removed your energy from them yet. You're still giving them energy, because that again is like a shield of protection. You must remove your energy source, but don't even pay attention to that. Focus on yourself, focus on bettering and strengthening yourself again. And you can use this as a lesson, use this as a way to never ever allow yourself to be too giving, too loving, too open to the wrong types of people. Understand there are many snakes, especially in the spiritual fields, like I've exposed in my other videos, and know that people can't really truly long-term steal your destiny, because they are not you. So even though they can steal your energy and use a facade, it's like a glamour spell, they can't hold it up long term. So know that you truly are the only version of you in the universe. You can always access it again. So I hope this video helped you, my loves. Please click the link down below to get my Dark Feminine ebook. If you want one-to-one guidance with myself, I do offer an oracle card reading service. So this is where I can help you with whatever issue or problem that you may have. So that does have a sale on. So that is linked down below. If you want a cord cutting ritual done on your behalf, then that is also in the same link. So in the meantime, please like, subscribe. Don't forget to click the notification bell so you're notified of my future uploads. I'm sending you so much love, so much light. Take care of yourselves. Ahimsa.